The story begins with the outbreak of a global pandemic that causes people to die rapidly. Those who survive begin turning into zombies due to the infection. Only a few people remain unaffected by the virus. Out of them, 513 individuals settle on an island called Helgoland and establish a community there. Gradually, they begin growing their essential supplies on the island itself. However, despite their efforts, the supply of food and other necessities remains very limited. As a result, the island cannot accommodate more than 513 people. If even one person exceeds the limit, it could lead to a crisis. To maintain this balance, every time a new child is born on the island, an elderly person or someone voted against by the community is executed. A community meeting room displays the names of all 513 survivors along with their point scores. Those who contribute positively to the community earn more points and a higher rank, while those with lower ranks face the highest risk of being chosen for execution upon a new birth. The entire community is governed by a committee led by a person named Beatrice. 15 years pass. A girl named Emily is introduced, who is about to give birth. Everyone gathers, and a news reporter records the entire event. According to the rules, whenever a child is born on the island, someone else must die. Emily's father voluntarily sacrifices himself by jumping off a cliff. However, this act is not enough. Emily gives birth to twins. Now another person must die. Committee meets to decide who will be next. It is decided that the community will vote on who should be executed. A report displays everyone's rankings at home. Christian and Henrik, two friends, see their ranks are very low. Christian panics and tells Henrik that if he is chosen, he will not willingly give up his life. Henrik reminds him that the last time someone refused, they were forced into a box and thrown into the sea. Next, a woman named Alice, ranked 512, is shown. She is very old and perceived as useless, even though she has done nothing wrong. Person with the lowest rank is Etienne, an engineer declared a criminal just because he stole medicine for his wife. A vote is to take place between these three, Alice, Christian, and Etienne, to decide who will die. Meanwhile, a father-son duo, Merrick and Linus, work as scientists trying to develop a vaccine for the virus in a lab. Another woman, Judith, a member of the committee, helps Merrick distribute medicine to the community. When Merrick and Judith visit Etienne's house, his wife Lisa becomes furious because it was Judith's report that lowered Etienne's ranking. Etienne only stole medicine for Lisa, but Judith labeled him a criminal, causing them to receive less ration and put Etienne on the death list. Lisa blames Judith for risking the life of a hard-working engineer like Etienne. The scene shifts to Emily again, who has just given birth to twins. A low-ranked old woman tries to take one of her babies, but Emily wakes up and stops her. The woman apologizes, claiming she never meant to harm the child. Emily still takes her baby back. It is revealed that Merrick also stole medicine and secretly gave it to an elderly woman. Judith sees this and informs Beatrice, who is shopping in a mall at the time. Since Merrick is the only one who can make the vaccine, Beatrice decides to keep him alive. She tells Judith to remain silent and promises to deal with Merrick when the time comes, and replace him with Judith. Christian and Henrik overhear their conversation and realize how power is manipulated. Inspired, they plan to play the system too. That time, a child breaks a pickle jar after bumping into another boy. Food is scarce, so everyone is upset seeing the waste. Henrik advises Christian to improve his rank by publicly helping the child. Christian does exactly that, shares his supplies, and impresses everyone, including Beatrice, who awards him 10 extra points. Henrik visits Lisa and Etienne, who are there to collect food. Knowing that they receive very little, Henrik offers to share his food, but with hidden intentions. Lisa senses this and declines. Beatrice, standing nearby, hears the conversation and scolds Henrik. It is revealed that Henrik is actually Beatrice's son. The scene cuts to Marek's lab, where he keeps an infected person from the outside world to experiment on. Henrik again approaches Lisa at the store. He offers her plenty of food in exchange for intimacy, pressuring her. When Lisa refuses, he tries to assault her, but an alarm goes off, forcing Henrik to flee toward the border. Henrik is revealed to be one of the island's soldiers. A group of outsiders tries to enter the island by sea. They are warned to stay back, but when they don't listen, Mia, the soldiers' leader, orders them to be shot. The gunfire scares the intruders away. Though most soldiers don't intend to kill, Henrik enjoys it and kills everyone just for pleasure. The scene returns to the community meeting room, where voting is about to begin between the 3 lowest-ranked individuals to decide who will be executed. In the voting session, everyone votes against Etienne. Hearing this, Etienne becomes deeply upset, and so does Lisa. Lisa cannot bear to see her husband die like this. She stands up and tells everyone that Etienne is innocent. He hasn't committed any crime. He only stole medicine, and that too for her because Judith and her team had refused to provide it. Lisa accuses Henrik instead. She reveals that Henrik tried to take advantage of their helplessness, attempted to assault her, and even offered food and water in exchange for staying with him. Upon hearing this, other women who had suffered because of Henrik also begin to speak out against him. Seeing the rising voices, Beatrice is reluctantly forced to change the decision. Etienne will not be executed. Instead, Henrik will be exiled from the island. The scene shifts back to the lab, where Marek's experiment has already failed. The infected man on whom he was experimenting dies. Marek is devastated but burns the body himself to prevent the virus from spreading. He returns home and tells Linus about the failure. Linus decides to venture into the outside world to retrieve a sample of a vaccine developed by an advanced scientist. Marek disapproves of the idea, but Linus no longer listens to him. He suits up and leaves the island with the soldiers. Henrik is also on the same boat, being exiled to the outside world. After reaching the mainland, a soldier asks Henrik to get off the boat. When Henrik refuses, the soldier attacks him violently, as if settling an old score. Flashbacks reveal that Henrik had wronged the soldier's sister. Henrik escapes to save himself. Back on the island, another crisis emerges. The water supply lines break, and a shortage begins. Beatrice decides to visit the engineer with her assistant. The assistant notices that Beatrice possesses a radio connected to the outside world, which is illegal on the island. However, she stays silent, knowing that Beatrice controls everything. Beatrice orders the engineer to fix the issue quickly. The engineer agrees but asks for permission to bring his wife from the outside world to the island. Beatrice flatly refuses. Elsewhere, soldiers leave Linus on the boat and go to meet a man named Earl, who gives them food supplies in exchange for 2 large boxes. What's inside the boxes isn't revealed yet. Linus waits for them on the boat. When the soldiers don't return for a long time, he steps out to check and encounters a boy who gives him a medicine and tells him that his ship holds many such supplies. If Linus wants them, he must come along. Linus follows the boy to his ship and finds that the claim is true. There are indeed many medicines. However, before giving them, the boy places a condition. He and all his companions must be taken to the island. Suddenly, many people start emerging from the shadows. Their numbers are far greater than expected, so Linus decides to run. Meanwhile, the soldiers also begin returning to their boat. One man attacks a soldier, but others immediately kill him and rush back. Once on board, they realize Linus isn't there. Before they can search for him, a crowd of desperate locals begins approaching their boat, hoping to go to the island. Not wanting trouble, the soldiers start the boat without Linus. Linus hears the engine, sees the boat's direction, and quickly climbs onto another large boat before jumping back onto his own. The boy who had helped him tries to follow, but the soldiers shoot him dead in the water. They then notice Linus's suit is torn and fear he may be infected. To isolate him, they shoot him with a tranquilizer gun, render him unconscious, and place him in quarantine once back on the island. Marek, his father, comes to visit and receives the medicine Linus brought. Linus recounts everything, how he met people and found multiple labeled vaccines on a boat. He believes they are vaccines for the same virus. Marek doesn't trust easily, so he tests the sample and confirms it is a real vaccine. He then approaches Beatrice and tells her everything. He insists that the soldiers be sent back to retrieve the rest of the vaccines. However, Beatrice refuses outright, citing the previous mission's heavy cost. Outside in the real world, Earl and his team finds the dead body of the boy who was killed by the soldiers of Helgoland. While searching his body, they discover a vial of vaccine. Shocked, Earl orders his men to search every corner of the area and to find the source and supply of this vaccine. Meanwhile, Henrik encounters an old woman named Velma. She is known for helping people by giving away small items and collecting resources throughout the day. Henrik senses that Velma might be useful to him. He begins to flatter her under the guise of being charming. Velma, feeling pleased, makes him her companion and takes him to an old theater which she calls home. Velma keeps talking about Earl. When Henrik finally asks who Earl is, she refuses to explain. Soon, Henrik becomes bored. Once Velma falls asleep, Henrik brutally kills her using a chair and takes all her belongings to increase his chances of survival. Back on Helgoland Island, Beatrice visits Lisa and offers her a job. She tells Lisa that if she brings internal news of the community to her, Beatrice will ensure a better life for both her and her husband. Lisa becomes happy and doesn't realize Beatrice might be playing playing a game with her. In the lab, Linus is no longer helping Merrick. He is replaced by Judith, who now assists with the experiments. Finally, the contents of the 2 big boxes brought from the outside world are revealed. They contain 2 infected humans captured by Earl and sold to the islanders in exchange for fruits and vegetables. Merrick and Judith are now preparing to experiment on them. Before the experiments begin, a soldier suddenly falls sick and dies. Merrick and Judith are disturbed, unsure of what caused his death. It is revealed that the soldier had recently gone outside with Mia's team, got infected, and returned. He never told anyone and eventually died. His body is burned. Linus notices similar marks starting to appear on his own body but chooses not to tell his father yet. He is already terrified, knowing what this could mean. The community blames Mia for the soldier's death, even though it isn't her fault. A meeting is held, and Beatrice decides to deduct 100 points from Mia for failing to protect her team during the mission. She is dismissed from the army and assigned to work in the prison. During this time, a girl named Fiona starts coughing. Everyone assumes she is infected and runs away in fear. Fiona is actually pregnant and unmarried, which causes the community to reject and kill her unborn child. Distraught, she goes to Tom. Tom assures her that he will take care of her and her child and won't let anyone harm them. The scene returns to the lab where Judith and Merrick continue working on the vaccine. Every attempt fails. They inject their latest vaccine into a test subject, who quickly becomes ill. This proves the vaccine is still not successful. Merrick, now frustrated, tells Judith that they must create a vaccine soon, because the virus has already entered the island. No one knows how many more it might infect. In the outside world, Earl visits the group of people who had come with the dead boy. He shows them the body and threatens them, saying the islanders killed him. He demands to know where the vaccines are. Everyone remains silent until one boy steps forward and agrees to tell Earl in exchange for a safe life on the island. Back on the island, Merrick visits Mia in prison. He tells Mia that he has enough authority to reduce her sentence, but in return, he needs Mia's help. Mia must return to the place where Linus found the vaccine and bring more. Mia refuses. The scene shifts again to the outside world, where Henrik is captured by a group of cannibals who are about to cook and eat him. Henrik panics and shouts that he belongs to Earl. Hearing the name Earl, the cannibals stop. Earl is a powerful man, and they fear the consequences of killing one of his people. Cannibals take Henrik, tied up, to Earl to apologize. But Earl doesn't even recognize Henrik. He orders his men to kill him. Just before his execution, Henrik tells Earl that he is Beatrice's son, the leader of the island. He pleads for help returning to the island and promises to serve Earl in any way if he helps. He even tells him that Velma is dead due to the virus. Hearing her name, Earl confronts Henrik and tells him that his lies are clever but pointless. Earl already knows the truth. He reveals that Henrik was not lost from the island but exiled, and that it was Henrik who killed Velma, not the virus. Henrik feels doomed but quickly comes up with another trick. He tells Earl that he knows all the island's secret doors and information. Intrigued, Earl asks for all the secrets, and when Henrik shares them, Earl lets him live. Back on the island, due to some recent deaths, there's now room to bring in 1 or 2 new people. Interviews begin. One candidate is the water supply engineer's wife, who has strong knowledge of medicine. Bringing her could be helpful for the community. However, another candidate, a woman claiming to be a surgeon, is also interviewed and passes. Preparations begin to bring the surgeon instead of the engineer's wife. When the engineer finds out, he becomes furious and decides to return to the mainland to be with his wife. But Beatrice, who only has one water engineer, cannot afford to lose him. Meanwhile, Etienne is shown. His wife Lisa now works for Beatrice, secretly reporting everything that happens on the island. As a reward, Beatrice offers Etienne a job at the windmill. While working, he finds an old bottle of alcohol and gives it to his boss. After Etienne leaves, his boss takes over. At the same time, the engineer arrives and starts breaking things. While trying to stop him, the drunk boss loses balance and breaks his leg. Merrick performs surgery on the boss. During the surgery, Merrick notices that the newly arrived woman, Danilia, is extremely nervous and even runs out. Suspicious, Merrick later confronts her. Danilia confesses that she is not a surgeon. She only read medical books and had never witnessed a surgery before. Danilia then blackmails Merrick. She reveals that she knows Linus, his son, is infected. She promises to stay silent about it if Merrick stays quiet about her false identity. While they speak, Judith suddenly arrives and overhears everything. She threatens to expose both secrets and promises to have Linus executed. Before she can leave, Danilia attacks her and kills her. That night, Merrick and Danilia dispose of the body by throwing it into the water. The next morning, Merrick receives a report about Fiona, who is seriously ill. Due to complications, she suffers a miscarriage. If others find out, they may demand her execution. Her mother begs Merrick to keep it a secret, and he agrees. When Beatrice visits the lab, she finds a broken tooth belonging to Judith, left behind after Danilia attacked her. Merrick had placed the tooth there by mistake. Suspicious, Beatrice starts a conversation and mentions Judith's disappearance. Merrick tries to act normal, but Beatrice confronts him with the tooth. Instead of denying, Merrick boldly admits it and says Beatrice cannot harm him because she needs him. Shocked, Beatrice accepts this and promises to blame the murder on the engineer instead. Later, in a community meeting, Lisa presents evidence, collected on Beatrice's orders, accusing the engineer of killing Judith. Though the engineer is innocent, he is sentenced to death. Tien is promoted to windmill supervisor, and both he and Lisa celebrate. During this, the wounded boss confronts Tien, claiming he was set up. Tien denies it. The next day, the engineer is bound and prepared to be thrown into the sea. Everyone gathers to witness the execution. Merrick, standing among them, feels guilty watching someone else die for his crime. He decides to confess everything to Linus. The scene flashes back to 15 years ago, when Merrick and Beatrice first met in a supermarket on the island. Merrick was working in the pharmacy trying to develop a vaccine. Beatrice, seeing his potential, seizes control of the store and stages a public campaign to show herself as a perfect leader. Beatrice knew Merrick could expose her secrets, so she offered him freedom to run the pharmacy as long as he stayed silent. Merrick agreed. Soon after, the island's real president arrives to arrest Merrick, but Beatrice cunningly accuses the president of corruption, has him killed, and takes his place. She even arranges for Marek's release. Merrick begins communicating with his wife, who works on the mainland on her own vaccine. While discussing data with Merrick, her lab is attacked by thugs, and she is killed in front of Merrick via video call. Beatrice, desperate to reduce the island's overpopulation, asks Marek's assistant for poison injections. When the assistant refuses, Beatrice threatens her. Eventually, the assistant complies. Many are executed with poison, while others are falsely declared virus positive and exiled, reducing the population to 513. Knowing the truth, Merrick resolves to develop a vaccine and expose Beatrice. But 15 years pass and he never succeeds. Back in the present, Merrick records his full confession in a tape. Before he can share it, Danilia arrives and shoots the tape recorder. A final twist reveals that Danilia is actually working with Earl. Earl now prepares to launch a plan to seize control of the island. With this dark alliance and suspense, the season ends.